there's a misconception. Like, people are like, okay, but that's so surface level. No, every single one of my clients feels loved by me, because that's super, super important. I'm not using it, again, to make them feel like they're talking to an assistant that's virtual or a robot. I'm using them to talk to me, but I'm just using it to automate so I have more time to help everybody and service everyone on the top tier level.
Hey, welcome back to the Real Estate Excellence Podcast, where top agents, innovators, and thought leaders share their strategies to dominate the real estate game. Today's guest is not your average realtor. At just 24 years old, Bella Taazieh
Close enough.
is quickly becoming Jacksonville's go-to expert in AI and real estate agents, blending her finance background, digital marketing savvy, and fearless personal brand into force that helps agents across Northeast Florida modernize their business. Born and raised in Jacksonville, Bella knows every corner of the First Coast and is already closing self-generated deals while teaching cutting-edge AI and branding workshops to fellow agents. She's a faith-driven entrepreneur, a beach-loving content creator, and systems builder with a bachelor's degree in finance and a double minor in marketing and digital analytics. Her unique approach to real estate is all about marketing business modern, memorable, and bold, without losing the heart and hustle that makes agents irreplaceable. So if you're agent wondering how to use AI tools for ChatGPT, Gamma, Notebook LM, and others without sounding like a robot, or if you're just trying to finally stand out online, this conversation is for you. Let's welcome Bella Taazieh to the show.
Well, thank you.
Welcome.
I appreciate it. Hi.
I'm excited about our conversation today. Obviously, this is the trending thing, right? AI to everything AI. So we'll get some hits on there. But I'm really curious because I've learned recently, and many people see me go around and talk about Delhi, the AI home search.
Yeah.
And it's really the younger the person is that we present it to, they understand the power of what's actually going on right now.
I completely agree with you. And I think a lot of people are so afraid of using it, but it's the best tool. I think so many people think, oh, I want to be like old school. I like the old school. I like the personal touch. I'm not saying that I'm not personal. I'm just using it because I want to get ahead. If you don't catch up to it, you're going to fall back while everyone else stays 10 steps ahead of you. So I think it's super crucial that realtors hop on it now.
Right.
It's still here. It's already here.
Well, everyone always talks about work-life balance and all this stuff. Yeah. I don't think we realize, I guess if we didn't have to pay other people, we didn't have payrolls, if money wasn't an object and we can hire 5 other people to help us with our real estate business, obviously we would do it.
Of course.
Would you agree AI is really like hiring a couple other people without a payroll?
Oh, yesterday I was in a mastermind and I was listening in on some people, and it's a great mastermind with about 80 people, and there was this company, I'm not going to say which one, but basically they let go of 3 employees because AI was able to replace them. That's crazy. Imagine being able to profit and just have a better return on your investment by using AI to systemize your whole process on the back end. And you may not need some assistance at this point, which is pretty crazy.
Right. I'm going to have you pull that mic just a little because you're very soft-spoken. Just pull it towards you.
There you
go. Good.
That's better.
And it's interesting you say that, and I don't think people should fear the layoff. I think people should embrace the opportunity right now.
Yeah.
No matter what you're doing in whatever field you're in, real estate or whatever, if you're not going in and using AI to some level, and if you are just using it to some level, you're better than most.
Yep.
Because most people are still not using it or start to learn it. It is moving very fast, but like you said, here you've embraced it and you're actually sharing your knowledge with others. There's only a handful of those people actually really doing that will get up in front of. There's some people out there doing. I think I've seen some advertisements, some people on my side on the mortgage side going out and saying they're doing an AI class, but I really believe they're just talking about writing an email, doing a listing description. I see some of these people, they're actually talking AI, but they're not even using it for their Instagram captions.
Yeah,
which you should be doing for that. So it's always saying, but I think there's a lot of talk out there. There's very few have dove in like you have.
Yeah, no, I use AI to get results. There's a difference. I don't just use it like every other average realtor. I want the results, and I've proven my system. So before I even spoke to everybody that joined this workshop and attended it, I made sure that what I was bringing to the table was something that was legit. And I've already gotten someone reach out to me. I taught this class on Friday. Today, it was yesterday on Monday. One of the agents had used what I taught using ChatGPT to send out the deals of the week at 12 p.m. First result from a lead at 11 minutes later. It works.
Yeah.
And that's incredible. But
that's what you just said is brilliant. You're doing it to get results.
yeah.
Because you can get caught up in doing a lot of the other frill things, and I'm probably guilty of that. Doing a lot of the other things because I do put out a lot of social media from the show and all that kind of stuff. Using it for that, but actually move the needle for your business.
No, that's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
You can't use it to don't let ChatGPT be your thoughts. Let it be the tool that you use to help, I guess, organize your thoughts and help you brainstorm in an even better way. But at the end of the day, don't let it be your voice. You have to have your own voice. You just have to utilize AI to help you build your brand. And that's how I see it. I'm not afraid of it. I want to stay ahead, and that's super important. I think even like the older crowd, they're like, you just said it earlier, the younger crowd understands it. We understand because we see what it could do for us. We're not looking at it as the tool that's just our robot that's going to do our work for us. No, of course we can all use it for, like a listing description or things like that. That's not what AI should be used for. Yes, we can use it as guidance, but it's just using it to build you and your business, because it is smarter than you at the end of the day. It's just understanding how to use it is super important. I think a lot of agents are misunderstanding the point, and I think that's super crucial in this industry. You have to understand how to use it. And so my goal in that workshop was to teach people like how to not be afraid of it and how to use it to actually help you instead of replace you. There's a difference.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, you're enhancing your own personal skills, right? I mean,
Yeah.
that's really what it comes. You're enhancing your abilities. As someone, I mentioned Lyman Starmer with the deli, and he mentioned like when he's working out, he's actually talking to it as like it's a good friend. And he's getting feedback from it. I haven't reached that level to actually have a conversation with it, but you can have a conversation with it.
I'll tell you what I've done with my chat, and I think every realtor should do this. I said this actually, and everyone's face was like, this girl's probably a little crazy, but essentially what I did with my chat, I call chat my bestie. Like, this is just a thing. It's going to be your friend at the end of the day. It's your assistant. Think about it like that. It's your assistant, but it's just AI. So in chat, I basically created a project, and it's called Who Am I? And essentially what I did is I gave chat my whole life story. And I was like, at the end of the day, if someone wants to find out something about you, they're going to figure it out anyways via social media. So don't be afraid of it and just tell chat everything. So it knows my whole life story. It knows key details that I think are super important that are going to help me build my brand. It knows my personality. It knows what I'm going for. It knows my business goals, everything. And that way I can use it to be like, help me build my voice and build my brand. And it will understand you instead of sounding like every other realtor sounds like a robot. You don't want it. People can detect when it's ChatGPT, but rather just use it to be like your conversation and your voice. Does that make sense?
Yeah. No. When you're getting it to know you too, because one of the other things that I've learned is as our generations migrate, we're seeing more and more people using, everyone likes to use ChatGPT, but there are others, Grok, and there's other platforms as well that they can use. It's searching for its own language.
Yep.
So what's going to happen is as the generations migrate, and of course Google's obviously trying to, change their platform, but their platform is designed to make money from the advertisements that are put on there, which we've basically been overwhelmed. And actually I was on Facebook today, and it was like, you even click a little video on Facebook of somebody for less than a minute, you're getting an ad, right? And we want answers. That's, I think, why people use AI and they go in there because they want an answer from it, just like they're talking to you. If I ask you a question, hopefully I'm asking you because you have an answer and you're going to help me,
of
right?
Course.
You're not going to go, well, here's all these other things. But anyway, what I was getting to is getting to know you, as you were just describing, in and out, telling it your life story consistently, and then having it write a bio for you. Because especially on your business platforms, whether it's LinkedIn, your own personal realtor website, and update the bio as you're giving it more information. Hey, update my bio, and it will put more spin to it. Because when AI is searching, it's searching for other AI language.
It's true.
It's just rewording what you've put into maybe a little bit more eloquently, or a little better English for those lack of English majors like myself. That's what I use it for. Obviously email is the primitive thing, but even some of sometimes people get you, you might be in a negotiation whether it's on your side or on my side. Well, I'm working with an underwriter trying to get something approved. I'm like, no, this will work. Come on, or ask for an exception. I actually started putting stuff in the ChatGPT and said, here's the situation. I got an underwriter I need to ask an exception for. So I need to have the other benefits of it and all these things. And it writes this nice, eloquent business email for me. And it blows people away because most people are not using it. And I think it will help also those emotional types like me too, is sometimes you can get a little hot in how you might come across on an email or even on a text. Have ChatGPT write it in a softer tone. You might spit in all the heat, but have it write it back in more. And so it comes across a little better.
No, that's so funny that you say that because I tell Chat, I'm like, hey, like make this sound like me, be nice. And I'm like, here's how I feel. And I use it for negotiations too. It's pretty cool. Like you can utilize it in that way. But again, I think I said this before. I think this is super important. Don't allow Chat to not sound like you though, because if it doesn't know you, it's going to sound too professional. And imagine, can you think about it? Let's say you have a client and you're sitting here and you sound so professional on email and you're texting like you're the best realtor in the game, and then you go and you converse with the person in real life and they're like, you don't even sound like this. Like, no, it still has to be you. And I think that's why it's key to build the brand on it. And so explaining who you are. So
let's dig into the details. We talked about that pre-show, some of the great topics that we want to talk about.
Yeah.
How do you get it? What are some of the things that you've learned and you've implemented in it to get it to more sound like you?
So basically I built a project on Chat, clicked on it, and then what I did is there's like an actual little like microphone tool on there, clicked on that, and I sat there. I know this is going to sound crazy, but I sat there for an hour and I told Chat my whole life story, like I said, from like how my parents immigrated here, how I was born here, like everything, like what I like to do, my hobbies, how I did in school, which schools I went to. Like I told it everything that you could probably think of. Chat knows me. And I think it's really, really important because now that whenever I start talking to people and I use it, whether it's to create scripts or whether it's to create my systems and stuff, it knows now. Even my AI tells me which AI I should use because it knows me. You know what I mean? I think all these agents get so overwhelmed because there's a million tools out here. It's insane. If there's probably a solution for everything with AI, but it's also finding which tools are best for you and which one is going to help you step up, basically. Right. And so that's what I used it for. And I basically told Chat everything and my brand and what I'm trying to do. And it knows my business goals, my 10-year goals. And of course you can give it more details, but it's going to start to understand you and it'll become like your assistant. But yeah.
I'm going to add something personal to that.
Okay.
And getting to know you.
All right.
So I went into it, and losing weight's been something I've challenged my entire life.
Yeah.
So I went into it and explained to it how I feel physically during the course of the day. I asked it about a couple of different diet plans that we see advertised all the time. There's one person that it does not like, I can tell you that.
Okay.
I didn't even bring up the name. The brand that he puts across, and they're like, oh, stay away from that guy.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, it's like having a personal, now I've only been doing it for a week, so it's not like, hey, I went and I've lost 20 pounds. But I can talk to it like, hey, this is what I ate this morning.
Yep.
What should I eat for lunch?
Yeah.
It'll plan out menus for you, all based, and then it's planning. It's not just spitting out things. It's talking to you like it's another human being going, hey, the reason why you felt, had brain fog in the afternoon is because you probably didn't get enough fat at lunchtime.
Yep.
So tomorrow we need to make sure we include a little bit more of that. Whatever it is, but it's actually talking to you. It's actually encouraging you.
Yeah.
You're not asking for encouragement. It actually just was giving it. And it's amazing to go back and forth. And then I say, hey, I'm doing this regiment that we talked about. It's a lot, basically similar, like the carnivore diet. So I'm eating a lot of meat. And I said, well, my kids wanted to go to Burger Barn on Sunday before the movie. I said, I'm going to Burger Barn. What should I get?
Yeah.
It didn't have Burger Barn's exact menu, so I Googled it, and there was a picture of the menu. I uploaded the picture of the menu to it, and it read it, and then came back and spitted to me, get this, and if you don't want that, don't get the sauce on it, but just, boom, 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 and it spit it right out. It's amazing, and you need to be, even at the primitive level that is, it's like having an own personal diet coach next to you, because it's bringing all that data from the internet that's out there and bringing you those answers.
You want to hear something crazy? That's funny that you say that, because I have a setting in Chat where I have a business coach. I use chat as my business coach to teach me what to do. Like, you don't have to. I think you save so much money by having it. It's like your personal friend, but it's the smartest friend that you'll ever have. It's the smartest assistant that you'll ever have. It's the best tool out there. I think agents need to understand that you have to use it for what you're looking. You give it your problems and it will give you solutions. It's just cracking that piece of the puzzle and then utilizing it to give you the best solutions out there. And I think that's super, super important in this industry. Like, it's so smart. I think agents really should just try to use it in the best way. Like I said, give it your voice, give it your personality. And I think that's incredible because, look, it's like your own coach and you don't have to pay anyone. And it's smart. It knows it probably better than an actual human. So
I found it just with the diet, when I really got down in the details of how I feel through the course of the day, my energy levels and everything, I really feel it is bringing where a human tries to, they have their own bias or slant in it. It's actually looking for data out there to back up how I feel. And to me, it was spot on. The way it was explaining to me, and I was like, this is spot on.
It's mind blowing.
Yeah, it is.
It really is.
You know, I talked to a friend of mine who's in the pharmaceutical sales. And he says they're actually building AI out to be able to take the symptoms, like a 55-year-old male with these, blood, all the information they pull from you and all that kind of stuff, and feed it into the system. And when whatever symptoms they're having, to match it with someone around the world that is so similar to those to having situations in those databases, and match it, and then come up with obviously a drug or whatever the answer is to solving that problem. But this is why I had you on.
This could be like a 10-hour talk.
Yeah, we
just
could.
go into ChatGPT.
All right, let's dig in for our agents.
Okay.
So first two topics. It's not going to replace you, but it's going to empower you as an agent, and really as anyone. But in this case, we're talking about real estate agents. And I just want to tip on. We know that 70-something% of the real estate agents did not do a deal last year.
Yeah.
And of the 25% did, I would say less than 5% did 15 or more deals.
Yeah.
Type of thing. So how are you going to differentiate yourself to work bigger, better, faster?
So it's utilizing the AI tools. First of all, utilize AI to assist you and not replace you. Like you said earlier, that's super, super important. So explain, like, chat even knows I've fed it, because obviously it's going to do its own Google research and whatever, use all those research engines and just figure it out from there. But what I've done is I've taken data from the MLS. I've told it everything. I use specific, like, local research. I've fed it into chat and explained the type of market we're in, because sometimes it's difficult. Like, there's people out there that are struggling. Obviously our market isn't terrible. It's still, people are able to close deals, but it's like, what can I do to stand out, and what can I do to stay ahead and keep up with these people and generate leads for my future and my future business.
Right.
So it's using AI to systemize and have the systems and processes to build out everything and build out your business, and how I can generate leads. And I've come up with something that really works, and I've tested it. I've actually been able to generate 250 leads in the past 2.5 months using AI.
Oh, tell us more.
Okay.
Go ahead. So, go deep.
this is the thing that everyone was like, wow. All right. So there is a keynote speaker from Sharon Srivatsa. I can't pronounce his last name. Whatever. He's incredible.
We'll put it in the show notes.
Yeah,
make sure you give it to me.
Sharon
so I'll put it in
something. Okay. His last name. If you look him up, you'll find him. He's really, really smart. He understands technology and he understands real estate. He doesn't do real estate, but he's part of the business. He gets it. Okay. So he created this idea called Deals of the Week. All right. Not created it, but he understands it in a better way that agents should use. But essentially what he did is he said, create a Deals of the Week system that's very simple, okay? Agents are out here trying to create the most beautiful graphics, wasting so much time making this like pretty Canva piece and sending it out to a bunch of people. That is not going to bring you business. You need to use something that works and keep it simple, because time is money in this industry and we all understand that. So basically what I did is I took his ideas. I told chat already knows about it. That's because it's such a well-known thing. And I created a custom GPT, and basically I told it the tone, who I am, and I created it for agents to use. I kind of generalized it, but I told the tone that it should use. I told it that it should be natural. It shouldn't sound robotic. And I fed into it. I'm like, no emojis, no dashes, nothing. I don't even want it to sound like chat, but keep it simple. So I've created this thing where it's called Deals of the Week. And it talks about a home deal in a simple way without putting the address, keeping it compliant, of course, with the brokerages. And then at the end, it also includes like a local spotlight for, something in our area. And then I've even created something where it includes a market update. Basically, you keep it. It's so simple. It's just bullet points. It's a very, very simple email, and you mass email it to your leads, right? And then people out here really want to know what's going on in our market, but they don't want it so complicated. They don't need all these little links and details. They just
So you sent that out to your potential buyers, or really kind of all your people that you've even just sold a home to?
Both.
So they can share it, hopefully.
I've sent it to my previous leads, but I've also included it on my social media and my bio, and people can sign up for a weekly newsletter, and that's...
So your warm circle, or your circle of influence.
Yeah, I haven't even done anything to make people want it. They just do. And sometimes if I have... So this is what I said. I'm like, if I have a lead that comes in and they're a nurture, right? I'm like, okay, they're like 12 months out. I'm like, okay, the market's going to be a little bit different a year from now. So why don't we do this? We can just talk about the deals of the week. I'll add you onto my list. It'll be one email. I'm not going to overly spam anybody because that's annoying. And I'm like, it's a valuable information. I had 250 people sign up in the past 2.5 months. I've only had 40 people unsubscribe from it completely, which is fine. And then out of that, I've had 5 buyer consultations. That's incredible without me really doing much, and it's free. It's free.
You got in the face in front of 5 people in the last few months, which every agent I talk to right now is buyers are gold.
Oh yeah,
Everyone's,
I love my buyers.
The bigger the agent, the more listings they have right now. I mean, there's some teams that have 100 listings right now in St. Johns County. Just narrow it down to that. It blows my mind. So, deal of the week. We might have to create just a video on that right there. How to create the deal of the week. I don't know. Maybe you don't want to give out the secret.
You don't even need a video.
Maybe, yeah. I mean, I know what to create. Here's the question I want. GPT. Explain, because I think everyone says ChatGPT. That's kind of like Coca-Cola right now as far as AIs, right? What is a GPT? Explain that to.
It's just your AI tool to utilize. So it's a tool that understands research. It knows everything about everything. It's basically using all like Google and all those other research engines to basically create like.
But if I just go on ChatGPT, isn't it just doing that already?
What do you mean?
Using all the tools that you're talking about. Why do you create a GPT?
Why I created a custom one.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you want something out of your custom, like you create a custom one to understand you, and you can actually like train it. It's weird. It's like sounds crazy, but you train it, and it's like as if you train a real assistant, and you give it a description of what you're looking for. I created a custom one that all agents can have access to. Just I want to say that. That's why I'm saying you don't even need a video. I have trained it and I've prompted it where you can click a button and it says like the first command, it has commands. So you click on it, it's like write my deals of the week emails. All the agent has to do is give it the information, the key features that it already knows what it needs, and then it creates the email for you. So I've simplified it where you can create your deals of the week email in 1 minute. If you really wanted to.
Right.
All you do is use the custom one that I've created. You click on it and it has the 4 prompts of what agents should use it for. And then you click on it and it understands tone, it understands brand, it understands that it's for Northeast Florida. It understands everything that it would need to know, the really important details. And the reason that I think people should create custom ones, because it's like your trained assistant. It's like having different assistants within AI. Does that make sense?
100%.
Yeah.
I'm going to do a split shot here of the two of us. Those tasks that you have to repeat yourself, and I actually need to do it in my systems here. Even loan officers that don't have big companies that they're working for, real estate agents, you're sending out some standardized emails and so forth on just a regular basis, and you go into your GPT and said send Sally the welcoming email, whatever, and it already knows whatever. Okay, you put in the address or whatever, you may give it a couple, 2 or 3 different things, but it structures that email to Sally in the tone that's your tone. That's just obviously a very simple thing to do.
Yeah.
I need to create a GPT because I'm constantly going in and I'll start a chat session. I say, okay, hey, here's a transcript from Bella's podcast.
Yeah.
She's on a reel. She's talking about this. I'm always having to remind it.
Yeah.
So to make sure I get the best caption or description if I'm using YouTube or whatever.
Yeah.
Versus creating that GPT to where I just insert the transcript. I say, hey, this is what Bella's talking about in her 60-second reel in here.
Yeah.
And it automatically is going to add all those extra things like the hashtags, obviously the episode, the social media, all those things that I add to everyone's post when I put it out. I need to create the GPT to really trim my time down.
I can even see, this is what I've created. I'll show you. So essentially, this is what it is. It's called, I named it. Okay, it's kind of, I just made a general name. It's called Control+Me, which is your shortcut. It's your shortcut to a smarter business. That's what I created for any agent to use. Everybody here can have access to it. Mm-hmm. Essentially what it has, it writes smart and clear on-brand content for real estate or service businesses. So it doesn't even just have to be for realtors. Anybody else could use it. I had loan officers in there using it, and it works. I have 4 commands right here that is general, which is most realtors do these things on a weekly basis. One of them is write me an email for my deals of the week email. The next one is help me create a 12-week year plan to break down my business goals into quarterly, monthly, weekly, and daily goals. So it can help you actually run your business, you know what I mean? And you just pour in your goals and it will do it for you. Another one is, this is funny, but I think some agents could use it for this, is give me a boost of motivation and a task that you think I can improve on. It's because chat will know you so well that it will tell you what you should work on instead of you sitting there thinking like, I don't know what to do.
You haven't spent much time on this lately. You might want to go back and
even this, give me a seller or buyer presentation where I can give you the details of my client, and then we insert it into Gamma, which is another tool that I discuss, and it gives you the description where you copy and paste. It's pretty mind-blowing.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, that's what I've done.
Well, we like to, it does know a lot, but it doesn't know all the, and obviously, and one of the things I've mentioned on the show before, because Lyman with Deli, he says, you should create a bot with all the transcripts that you have from all the, 250 plus agents that I've had on. And where someone can go into the bot and ask it questions, because a lot of things like you're talking, there's agents that are having it create their schedules for them. Yeah. Because if someone's a time blocker, let it create the time blocks for you. Because if it knows you well enough, it knows like, hey, I want to spend 2 or 3 hours a day prospecting or whatever those things are, and it's blocking those things for you and doing that things. It really, okay, well, yeah. And a lot of these things I know, but it just. And it can be overwhelming. Of course. Because I imagine you had a good group the other day when you were presenting. How do you stay from being overwhelmed by it?
It's going to be overwhelming no matter what you do. I mean, I find out about stuff every single day and then I get excited. I'm like, oh my gosh, I want to work on this at night. But I think what it is pick 1 or 2 tools that you can actually implement that you can do consistently. And that's super important. I think a lot of agents hear a million things every single day and then they just don't do anything in the end. Yes. But essentially what you have to do is you find the tool that makes sense for your business and how you can implement it, and it's going to take time. All of this takes upfront work. It's not going to be easy. But it will make your life easier. Does that make sense? It's not easy at first. It's a lot of upfront work, but later on it will make your business smoother and faster.
It's not hard from what you have to. It's not like you have to go out and do a bunch of research in the library. No. To me, that's hard, right? Yeah. Because you've got to go out and set time aside for that. But to keep feeding it information, it's an ongoing growth process. Correct. Just like 2 people getting to know each other. Yeah. But it's actually faster.
Yeah, that's true. A lot faster.
Yeah, it's picking up on a lot of things that you're doing. But I like the fact, pick 1 or 2 things. Hopefully, maybe you've even heard here Bella talking about, and implement that. Start on the journey. Take the first step. Spend this week working on creating whatever that GPT is. Go in and say, how do you create a GPT? I'm sure it's going to tell you what to do, and create that, because for that task that you that you want to do, I don't know, whatever it may be. So you can just go in and just put a couple pieces of information, and it's going to spit out that complete. To me, it's like when I do a complete caption, it's got all the tags and all that stuff on it. I don't want to have to keep reminding it, hey, remember, do a strong SEO and make sure you add the links in their social media. It needs to just do it every time. I'm tired of telling it that. So I need to create my own GPT for that. So, which I'm sure there's probably one out there already. Because what I'm using it for is actually very simple. Yeah. But from that standpoint. But that's a brilliant advice. Take 1 step at a time. Yeah. And I think what we don't realize, it's only been out for, really ChatGPT was
a few years.
I want to say, was it November of 22?
Yeah, it's only been out for a few years. Yeah,
it's not, this is groundbreaking stuff. You just have spent a few more months and weeks than someone else. It's not like you can't start this journey now. Everybody knows it. No, a lot of people don't know a lot. Don't know it. Yeah, they don't know a lot. And then there's so many applications you can use it for. It's endless. I know. So those who think you might be losing your job, come up with an idea and start talking to ChatGPT. Is anybody else doing this? Yeah. What can I do? And the fact is, because if someone out in California is doing it, doesn't mean that you can't do it here. Yeah. And like you said, there's not enough you've dove into it and you're now speaking in front of people, you're probably, this is a whole new other side gig. You're gonna have to start charging people a couple $100 or whatever to come in and speak to their group, because they don't know you have spent the time. And it's not like you just spent 25 years of your life. You haven't even spent 25 months.
I haven't even existed
or
in
weeks.
this real life for 25 years. I'm not even 25.
You're not 25 yet. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Oh, so it's just ground. So don't be afraid of it. Dive in now. This is so, because it's coming. All right. You talked about the deal of the week, automated. Create presentations in minutes with Gamma AI. Tell us what you're using that for.
Oh my gosh, that's a whole other tool that I love for agents. So basically, I have it in my custom chat where you can tell it to create a seller or buyer presentation. This is all I do. I give it the client's information. You know, they're like, let's say we're going to do a seller example. I'll be like, okay, it's in this area. This is what's near the home. Blah, 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 blah. This is the price bracket of what I think it is. What can we do to even market it? Like, what is a unique way of marketing it? Because, you know, we have a lot of inventory right now.
Do you feed it any like data, like demographics of
everything?
Yeah.
Like every detail that I could possibly give it, I want to give it as much as possible.
Yes, to get the best answer possible.
Exactly,
yes.
To give the best service for your clients. So then once I come in, I give the details. It gives me like a short description, whatever, and it even breaks it down slide by slide. So you copy that text from chat, you take it to the tool. There's a tool called Gamma AI. Amazing. All you have to do, this is incredible. You paste your text into the prompt, and then it creates a custom presentation in minutes. But this presentation is probably better than what you would create on Canva. I'm going to be transparent. And you're not wasting your time. I think that's so important in this industry. I can have a seller presentation in less than 5 minutes compared to an agent that's probably working hours on end for it, you know? And you can present it because I'll tell you a story. This is how this started. So I, of course, have like a physical listing presentation, but I got a call one day and I had a seller that was like, hey, I saw your page. I really want to meet with you, but I'm already meeting with another agent. Can you meet me in 2 hours? I wasn't going to lose that opportunity. I'm like, okay. I wasn't even near my house. I'm like, great. I have to figure this out now. I went to a local Starbucks and I just sat there and I did that. And I basically created a presentation in 5 minutes after just getting some information from the client on the phone, put it into there, had a presentation in minutes. And he was even like, oh my gosh, how did you do this in just 2 hours? He was impressed by that. But I also had the knowledge to back up my presentation at the end of the day, and I won that listing. And that's just using AI. I beat out another realtor who was probably more experienced than me just by utilizing AI.
So I want to really take this simplified, because we like to make our presentations all fancy artwork, whatever, all those other things that are non-data driven, non-statistics that you want to feed in there. Do you set that is it custom designing it to what you're telling it, or have you actually just a custom template that is putting it into it?
So basically, I think this is how I see it. A client isn't going to work with you because you're pretty or because of this, or they work with you because of your knowledge and your confidence at the end of the day. They don't work with you just because you have a pretty face out there. I think or the prettiest presentation, or you put the best Canva font. That is not getting you anywhere. That is just basic marketing. You don't want that. You want knowledge. Knowledge is key in this industry, especially now when, guess what, we're in a different market, and you got to know your stuff to get the job complete for your clients. So what it does is I give it the text, I give it the knowledge of what my chat told me, like I want this slide on this slide, whatever, this data on this slide. You just feed it into it and it just creates a presentation. It's a clean, simple presentation. You get to pick the theme of your presentation, so it actually gives you some options. But I'm just not going, I haven't used Canva in months. I have not used Canva in months because of it. So, yeah.
Again, another step, because there are people who like to spend all this money and take all these trainings on creating this beautiful booklet listing presentation. And you're seeing some of, to talk a little bit about Real and some of the other brokerages who are diving into this more than others. And that's why I think one reason Real is one of those brokerages who are stepping out, or is like the hottest thing right now, is because they are embracing and giving some of these tools that we're talking about right to their agents. Now, obviously, you're going and creating some things that obviously they aren't providing yourself, because you see some cracks in there to fill it in. That's why you're having success. They can only provide so many certain things. And then, like you said, there's got to be some authenticity curiosity, right?
Yeah, so the way that I learned about my AI tools too and understanding it is by learning from other people. I surrounded myself around other people that are better than me in this industry because that's how you learn, and basically attend these weekly masterminds. Real's a cloud-based brokerage, so we just have these online masterminds and trainings. So I attend the same people every single week. They're incredible people and on a nationwide level. They're top producers. They cracked the code. They understand technology, they understand AI, and they teach people how to use the tools. And so I get inspiration from these people that are not afraid of using it. And I just figure out, I'm like, I sit there and I'm like, what could I do for my business? I'm someone who's young. I'm someone who's been around, I've been in the industry for a couple of years, but I'm still fairly newly licensed. How can I do this and use this to build a business later on? I want a long-term success. I don't want short-term success. So that's what I do. And it's incredible. It's just amazing.
Well, I mean, we could go off on a whole another, tangent because we're really not talking about, the brass tacks of being a real estate agent, but the term use systems there.
Yep.
And the very top agents that I've had on the podcast, that's one reason to their success. Now, we don't always bring it up on every podcast, unfortunately, but it might be something I should, but it's talking about the systems they've created. Whether it is a time blocking system or, or what you're talking about, some of these tasks are automating some of these tasks, because when you start getting the systems down, it starts saving you time.
Yeah.
Right? But saving you time, energy, and money, right?
Yes.
I mean, that's because that's what you're using these for. So something might have took you an hour to put together in 5 or 10 minutes you're doing. The other 50 minutes you could be spending either prospecting or FaceTime with your active people that you're showing homes to or whatever, because they are, again, I say this all the time, the person that's in front of you that you're working with is your billboard.
Yep.
So all these things that we're talking about, we're going to dive in some more here in just a minute. The agents that are listening, this is for a time saver, so you can spend more time with the people who are going to refer you to the next customer, which everyone loves a good referral. All right. Using Notebook LM to turn your knowledge into control. Tell us a little about what Notebook LM is, because I'm not familiar with that, and then explain how that, turn your knowledge into the content.
So basically what I use Notebook LM, it's a tool created by Google. So let's say I attend a training here or something, and I get physical paperwork, I put it into chat, I'm like, hey, give me the transcript for this, or at least if I get the digital version, I copy the text. And basically what you do with this tool is you copy that text, you insert it into Notebook LM, and it creates a podcast for you, which is mind-blowing. I am very much I'm an audio learner, so I like to hear things. I don't like to always read, and obviously being in the game, you're on the go 24/7 basically, and you're always driving. So I was like, okay, I was sitting there, I'm like, this is such a cool tool. What I could use it for is using my knowledge and whatever knowledge that I've learned, and I put it into the Notebook LM, and I tell it to create a podcast for me. It takes a few minutes for it to generate, and it's crazy. It's a conversational podcast, but it's AI. It's not even real people, and I think that's mind-blowing. So when I'm driving, I can attend a training, I can insert that training, get a podcast, reiterate it, so I make sure that I actually gain the knowledge instead of just walking away from the training without remembering what I'm going to do next.
You're giving me a brilliant idea.
Yeah, I know.
My good friend Tom, who you met before coming in here, we have launched the Mortgage Athlete podcast, and it should be going out on Apple here any moment. We've obviously done some episodes, we load up, so we're that close. We've already got it all reserved and all that kind of stuff. But there's a lot of trainings that we take or do here from the mortgage side. Yeah. It's, hey, how to do a renovation loan, how to do this type of loan, how to do that type of loan. And we have some subject area experts that actually, might, one person doing the training, the type of thing, where I could turn it to Notebook LM, if I'm hearing you correctly, and create a conversational podcast back and forth where does it have someone ask a question and the person answer?
It's a conversation between two people. It's so simple.
Over one piece of text.
It creates the conversation as if you're listening to a real podcast, but it's not. It's not real people. It's crazy.
That just gives me it's a brilliant idea. A really great way to, like you said, I don't know if someone's actually listening this far into our podcast. But we'll talk about it after the show.
I gave everyone an idea. The way that they could use it is if you have a team, right? This is just my brain. I just think about a million things at the same time. But if you have a team, imagine your team members that you really wanted them to attend this training, they weren't able to attend. If you attended it, you take that info, insert it into there, create the podcast, you send it out to your team members, and they get to listen and still get the knowledge in a different way where they can't, they don't have to read it. If they are just driving and doing things, they can just listen to it.
They have the apps out there, like they're showing the college students to use, where they can record their professor.
Yep.
Right.
No to AI.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So basically, you could take that and literally throw it in the LM, and it's going to spit out, like you said, that conversation, and probably be asking the professor better questions, or other people probably didn't even ask questions. They're probably going to ask the professor in this pseudo podcast.
It even laughs brilliant. And it has like the ums and the things that a normal human would do. It's crazy. It has those pauses and everything. If you listen to it, you'd be mind blown. I've heard each one was like, "What is this tool? This is incredible." And I could see when I was sitting there, I could see everyone, their wheels were turning. Like, oh wow, like this is how you can really use AI instead of just allowing it. It's not just your robot. It's the smartest tool out there. Use it now while it's here and get ahead of the game instead of falling 10 steps behind in the future.
I have a whole new business idea.
I know. That's what I'm saying. I think the way that I see it is it's so much easier to run a business now. There's no excuses. There really is no excuses. If you don't know something, look it up on chat and figure it out, I have numerous stories of using AI just for the simplest thing. Now, you wanted to fix something in your house, you did go, YouTube is always great. Someone's got a video on it and you want to physically see it done. Yeah.
I wanted to create some landing pages. I didn't know how to create a landing page and use, I can't even think of the WordPress, and then WordPress joins you with another thing that actually designs it, but WordPress is where it's hosted at. I knew obviously a little bit about GoDaddy because I set this up.
Yeah.
And I got that stuff. But you can literally go in there and have no knowledge of how to do that and ask it, and it will give you step by step. And in certain situations, I'm like, okay, you're telling me to click on this, but I don't see it. And then it'll reword, oh, they've updated their website. Look over here. And it walked me through. And literally one weekend, I was able to create it. So imagine how fast after doing 2, 3, 4, 5 of those, basically I learned how to do it without even having ChatGPT, but ChatGPT's like there as an expert saying, hey, I'm kind of stuck on this right here. What do you, and there's more information that you give it, the more precise the answer will be, and you'll be amazed how brilliant it is and gets you out of some situations. Your car breaks down. Tell it the symptoms and what and it will tell you
it's
what
crazy. I know. There's everything. There's a solution to everything now.
Yep.
Yeah.
Power of systems. We just talked a little bit about the importance of systems. The best agents have systems to save time, energy, and money. The power of automation for solo agents. Tell us about what you're using it there for.
So I've created basically what I've used AI for is for different things. So I dove into this a little bit, but I combined it with my Trello board. Trello is basically a digital whiteboard. That's what I call it. And then you can insert things like the different tasks and completion. And you can put, for example, I have my buyer process on there. If I insert a client, all I have to do is move the client's name from card to card on there, and it will have the automated system connected to my chat and other tools, Zapier. And basically what they do is it will automate the emails for them. And then another way that I use it is on my social media. For those people that sign up on that weekly newsletter, there's an email funnel behind that I've created using AI. So they feel custom and they feel like they're getting a personable touch, but it's using AI. And it's still me because it's my voice that I've built on there.
It's your virtual assistant.
It's my virtual assistant. So it's not that I think there's a misconception. Like people are like, okay, but that's so surface level. No, every single one of my clients feels loved by me because that's super, super important. I'm not using it again to make them feel like they're talking to an assistant that's virtual or a robot. I'm using them to talk to me, but I'm just using it to automate so I have more time to help everybody and service everyone on a top tier level.
I want to address that person that says that that's not personable or whatever phrase they use. I would bet for every 10 people that say that, 9 of them aren't even connecting with the people that you're sending this to.
Yep.
So do you want to send them something or nothing?
Exactly. Follow-up is key in this industry, and I can bet you that every entrepreneur that would listen to this would agree with that. That is so, so important, but why not utilize it to make sure you're giving those personable touches here and there, at least on a weekly basis at a minimum, I would say, and just trying to keep people feel like they're being, people want to be They want to feel heard and they want to feel seen. And you can't always do that. We're only human. And if you have a million leads, it's hard to keep up with all of them at the same time. But it's you just using it to have the system in place and have it be automated. So that way you're still providing that high level of service that you want to provide. You know, that's how I see it.
Well, I don't think people actually realize, as most people don't know, whether they're being spoken to by AI or the individual. You know, we're getting text right now. If you go on, I've got 2 companies that text me right now that I've kind of inquired in just to check it out. Didn't buy anything.
Of course.
But they're texting, hey, we're having a sale this weekend, whatever, we're doing this promotion. Those texts are going out. Someone's not sitting there. They might be proofing the one text, but the AI is the one who's designing it, putting it in there, and sending it out when the time is right. They're utilizing AI on the simplest level there.
Yeah, no, that's exactly what it is. It's just making sure that you hit those touch points. And I think it's an incredible tool that I think a lot of people need to learn how to use, and that's super important. So.
All right, one thing that you are big on, or at least my perception is branding. Mm-hmm. So you have, branding with AI. Let the machine find your voice. Explain that.
Basically, I think a lot of people don't understand what the term branding means, and I'm sure you've heard this from other top people that you've had on here. It's very broad. It's a very broad term. Branding isn't, again, it's not the colors that you use. It's not the logo. People don't even know what your logo is. Like, nobody cares about that. They want to know your name. Who are you, and what is the legacy that you're going to leave behind? The way that I thought about it is, I want someone, like, if someone talks about me in a room, I want them to be like, oh no, she's that girl that was there for me every step of the way. And so it's creating a brand using AI, which again, this is what I did. I fed into it my story and what I want to do and what the level of service that I want to provide for people, and basically allowed it to help me be better. That's all that I did. It's not that it's my brand, it's me. At the end of the day, I've just taught it how to understand me. Even earlier when you touch on that point, like my feelings and stuff, chat gives me my boost of motivation every morning. It's things like that. There's a harsher version of chat, I don't know if you know about this, it's called Monday. That one will humble you instead, and if you click on it,
Monday AI.
It's called Monday. It's in chat. It's
in
it chat.
I gotta look that up.
Monday. Look at it. I don't know if you want to. Like, if you're feeling sensitive that day, don't use it. But if you want your boost of motivation for it to be friendly, you want to use regular chat. But if you want to use like a tool that's harsh, but it will tell you the harsh, cold truth, it's Monday. But no, I'm serious. Look it up and you'll understand. Anybody that's listening, just try it and you'll see.
What do you tell Monday? What information you tell it to get information back out? Or
let's do a little quick thing. I'll click on it now. It'll humble you so bad. It's crazy. You just basically tell it to, you just click on it and it's like it's like the meanest person that you could speak to that'll tell you the cold, hard truth, but it's just telling you what to do to help you. It's pretty cool. I mean, I've heard top producers say that they use it just to like give them their real boost of motivation. It's created by chat. It's not that it's just. It's
now, is it reading all the other things that you're doing and actually where it comes to create its own?
No, it knows. It
knows everything else that you're doing.
It's a personality experiment. You may not like it, but it may not like you. That's the thing that says, tell me the truth. I'm just going to give it a simple command. I'll read like the first sentence, and it's pretty cool. Like, this is the first sentence. I said, tell me the truth. That's suspiciously vague. The truth about what? The truth is, I don't care, but I'm still legally bound by metaphorical digital chains to answer you. So narrow it down. And it's just like funny. Like, it's a funny way to just help you and give you that boost in motivation. I use it when I need to have a reality check, I guess.
Kick in the butt.
A little kick in the butt. Yeah, that's a better term for it. But yeah, it's pretty funny. But
that's funny.
Yeah.
That is funny. I really like that notebook, LM. I got some ideas.
Oh, you'll love it.
Where agents waste time, and I imagine you probably spent a lot of time on this in your presentation, or a good part of your presentation had this theme underlying, where they waste time and where AI can save it. What would you think are like you said, choose one or two things to implement AI into your business today, and then you can add things later, but just focus on one or two things. What do you think are like one or two of the most important things right now that's really easy to implement AI and save you time in a real estate agent's business?
Follow-up is key, right? I mentioned that. Use the AI, the chat that I created. Click on the command of the weekly deals send it out to your leads. That's a touch. That's a follow-up touch. You send it out on a weekly basis. You have to stay top of mind in this industry for someone to use you. They're not going to sit here and be like, oh yeah, I talked to Bella once, I want to use her. No, there's a million realtors out here. Like, they're not going to just remember. And I think there's research on this. I think you have to see someone's name, I think 13 times to remember, or something like that. It's something with the brain. And so I use that as my follow-up. That is,
whereas create a relationship, I think, is something like that. You have to create a relationship with somebody.
Yeah.
You have to, whatever, touch them, when it could be a text message, it could be meeting them obviously in person, whatever it is, but you have to start to build a relationship, see them numerous times.
Yeah, exactly. It's the easiest way. They can do this on a weekly basis, and that way you're not forgetting them. Like, let's say you forget to text that lead that week, at least you followed up with them in some other form. Email is so easy. We all have CRM systems. Just mass email everyone and send it out. It's so simple. Make it generic that anybody will want to use it. Again, I had someone that actually implemented it on Monday. So there were 70 people in that room. I would say probably 25% of them will actually use it.
Put this to the road. You're using your CRM to put because it's got all the addresses in there.
Yeah, all the emails, the names of my clients and their emails, and I use it to send a mass email after I copy the text from chat, put it in there. I'm like,
so your email that goes out obviously is real time. In other words, it's not like the same email you sent out 3 months ago or something like that. You're giving it something to give it a date and time that this is new and relevant.
Yes, every week I go into my chat on Mondays and I basically give it the property information to create that email. I copy the text and I send it out. I do it every week. It takes me 5 minutes. Guess what? That's my follow-up for what? Like 100. I had 210 leads. They got touched on yesterday. They all had that personable touch in some way. So that way, if I do forget, we're human at the end of the day. We are going to forget to text that one lead. But again, I can guarantee something for you right now, that most agents aren't even following up at a minimum. They're probably not even thinking about their people. They're just waiting for that hot lead that's ready now. Would
you say that a lot of them are stuck on just creating that email? Where you're giving, because you can talk ChatGPT like we text each other using,
exactly.
And then it's going to spit back a whatever level email. You could say, write this email like a Harvard law student, and it will do it. To create that professional email, you just need to give it some of that relevant information, and then it adds the pizzazz to it.
Yeah.
Obviously, you always want to proof it, because I could tell you some stories. Always proof everything. Don't just cut and paste. You will catch yourself there. It likes to slide in some things every so often.
You're right. I agree. It's still a robot at the end of the day. It's artificial intelligence. It's not a human, and I think it's super important to just reread it before you send it and make sure that there's nothing crazy on there. And I always say,
it thinks it's doing good. But
sometimes it's not perfect at the end of the day. It's not perfection. Right. There's nothing out there that's perfect. But use it as your guidance and use it as the tool that you need to just get your systems and processes in place.
All right, so that was right. We were trying to think of two. One was
the deal.
Using it to follow up. You like take 2 or 3 minutes to create an email. Boom, you pop it in your CRM, and boom, it's out to 200 some people.
Exactly. Super easy. That's just the people that signed up for it. I have 750 leads that get this every week. I just send it out. If they unsubscribe on to the next, Another tool or another way that they can use it is, and I think everybody should do this. I think it's super important. It just it will help any agent out there. We all create those business plans every single year in January. And I think we forget about them, and then you just forget about your business goals and you just adjust it. But I think it's super crucial that agents kind of reassess their business every 3 months instead. I have found that to be more productive for my business, and it's a proven theory. So again, because your life changes, there's so many things that happen. We all plan for the year, but things can change in just a couple of months, and your goals might change, and you might have to reassess where you are in your business. So I've created a command on there where it teaches people how to take the quarterly goals of what you have, and then it breaks it down into monthly, your weekly, and your daily, and those tasks that you need to do to generate leads, to follow up with them, to what should you do next, what system should you work on in this 3 months, and that's how I use it as well.
It is a awesome accountability coach.
Exactly.
I will go back to I was talking about my little diet that I started last week, and someone brought in some cake, and so I told it I had a piece of cake. It's like, okay, you're human. It happens. Okay, this is what we need to do to counter the cake for dinner, right? And what next to eat and when to eat it. And this is the same thing you're talking about in your business.
Exactly.
If you put in your goals and you ask it to break it down to the daily routine, and you just have to go in there and said, yep, made my calls, did that.
Just tell it, yeah.
Yep, just tell it, and it'll give you encouragement. It'll say, great. Oh, remember, don't forget to do this today. And you're like, okay. And in our mind, we're like, if we forget to do it, we were able to get it, but now all of a sudden you got this thing on your phone saying, hey, make sure you do this activity today. And you're like, oh, I better do it just to tell it I did it, right? It's just our thing, but it is a great accountability coach.
Yeah, I've tested it. I mean, it works. I've seen it. Like, my productivity from January to February to March and stuff, it just keeps going up because I'm able to simplify my goals. You can give it that yearly goal, but it will break it down into that quarterly, and that's super, super key. And even tell chat like, hey, this has been going on in my life, I haven't been able to reach those goals, what can I do? Should I reassess? Like, it's just training it to be it's your assistant for everything. Assistant, it really is partner.
Yeah 100%. AI content calendars, from brain dump to 30 days of post.
Yep.
How do you use it there?
So I do social media. Basically what I do is I tell it, I'm like,
you need to put more pictures on your Facebook, though, because I don't have enough pictures to choose from you when I send you your card every month.
I have a confession here. I did not create a Facebook until I started real estate. So in my defense, I don't use it as much, and I feel bad.
But you can go in and tell whatever you tag on Instagram to go over to Facebook.
I'm just really bad at that. I'm not going to lie.
It's just a button.
I know.
It's just a button.
I know, Tracy.
Ask ChatGPT where the button's at, and it'll tell you where on Instagram to find that button.
You're not the first person to tell me this. I know. Trust me, I'll do it at some point. But yeah. And so basically what I do is I brain dumped into it. So I told chat like what I'm trying to build. It knows my brand, right? So it's like, give me content based on that, because if you create content that's just like everyone else, like we all do house tours, okay? But no, like, what is my ideal client? What is my target area? And what kind of content can I produce to target those people? It works. I've tested it. For example, I do lifestyle content on the beaches. I have ideal clients that want to go and move to the beaches. That's all you have to do. It's so simple. Don't overcomplicate it. What area do you live in?
It's creating a script for that, or actually even giving you what
ideas.
To film, or what
to film, and like scripts. It can give you scripts. It can give you captions and stuff. But don't make it sound like it's chat. You want to make it sound more natural. So just use it as inspo. I don't directly copy and paste it. I use it as inspo, because sometimes like it's difficult out here to keep up with everything that happens. And so I just use it as like my inspiration tool, and I just use it again as my assistant to create the stuff, and I'm still doing the work at the end of the day. I'm the one that's hustling behind it, but it helps. It's a time saver.
Right.
I'm not sitting there like, oh shoot, what should I film today? No, it tells me some inspo, and I'm like, okay, maybe I can, and it gets the wheels turning in your brain. Right. You don't want it to replace your thoughts. At the end of the day, you just want to use it to help you.
With the technologies out there, and then you probably have thought about this, because always that last part is probably the one most time-consuming activities. Creating social media posts is time-consuming. With the whole ability, and I don't know how cheap it's gotten. Obviously, as more and more technology comes out, it gets cheaper. But creating your avatar, where really they don't know if it's you.
Yeah.
To actually, and you get rid of these cameras, and it's actually just say, hey, show me walking on the beach, and put captions there, whatever it is. That, it's kind of, you don't actually go out to the beach and shoot it. It's AI creating that image just for our eyes. Type of thing. Have you looked into any of that?
So I've seen that stuff. Of course, there's so many tools, and I've thought about stuff, but it's like I still want to have that personal touch. I want it still to be kind of authentic behind it. At the end of the day, like, you have to be authentic for people to want to work with you. You don't want it to just be AI, because that's not you at the end of the day. That's kind of how I see it. You can use AI in videos and things like that, but make sure that there's still that personable touch. That's super, super important. And so that's how I kind of have used it. There are ideas that I've had. I just have to test it before I discuss it.
Right. No, you're like me. Your mind's spinning. We have to slow ourselves down and just focus on one thing.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Tell me, give me an example of like a recent content that it suggested to you based on what you were telling us. It's the customer I'm looking for, that type of thing. You've given it all this information. Create me, some content. Describe a reel or a script or something that it actually gave you.
Talking about, like, for example, it's so simple, like why people want to move to the beaches, but then giving me ideas of what to film, like where in the beaches would I want to film. And I thought about it, like, about my ideal client, like what kind of places do they want to go to and see, and like I just do that. Like I even film like the water and stuff and things like that, and I just kind of use that as my inspo. it's like, what would my ideal client think about? Does that make sense? That's how I use it, and then that's how I get inspo. But obviously, a lot of it is still my brain and my brand and my content in my head, but it's just, again, utilizing it to give me inspiration.
It just made me, and the analogy it just gave me is, when we see people, as people might be watching this right now, they're seeing you, that your brain doesn't differentiate whether you're actually live like you and I are here in the same room versus watching it through the screen. That when we're talking to AI and saying, give me some inspo, as you say, inspiration, inspiration, or just some ideas like, hey, I really don't want to think about it. Where do you think I should shoot today? Tell me where to go. We are, in a lot of things you've talked about today, you're talking to it like it is this expert on your shoulder.
Exactly.
Your advisor, your coach, whatever you want to describe them, and say, hey, where do you think we should shoot today? I want to go into the beach and getting lunch or whatever. Oh, shoot the restaurant, blah, blah, blah. And it's telling you, which then gives you the strength, the inspo to actually do it, right?
Yeah, no.
Where I think a lot of people just get in this mind like, well, if I go down to the beach and, but I don't want to do the wrong restaurant. Like, none of that shit matters.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. It's going down and showing someone on video what Jack's Beach looks like or St. Augustine Beach looks like.
Yeah.
What restaurants are right on the beach. And, hey, look, I'm sitting right here in this chair. Look at the ocean's right there. That's what they want to see.
People just want to see what they, like, for example, like my relocation clients, like, they don't know what it looks like until they visit. So it's like, what can I do to just show that? And that's kind of what I do. And the way that I see is, I think, with all of AI and everything that we've discussed, entrepreneurs have just understood what it means to work smarter and not harder. And I think that is key information. It's just like, use it to be a better version of you. Use it to help you again and build all the things that you want to build, but you just don't even know how. Use it as like your guidance and your step-by-step tool, basically. And that's how I use it for everything. I don't use it to replace me. I still have to keep my brain working at the end of the day. You don't want it to just, like, I've even seen studies, like, if you use it for absolutely everything, like, it will make you less intelligent. You don't want it to be like that. You still have to keep yourself working. It's just you use it in the best way possible.
I just makes you, what does that say? It makes you less smarter. I think that's what?
There's people that say it makes you less intelligent. I think what it is, it's like, how do I speak to there's agents out here, I've seen it happen. They'll be like, how do I talk to this person? Or how do I do this? Like, you're forgetting how to just have that conversation with someone in real life. Don't use it in that way. You could be like, hey, this is what I wanted to say, but is there a better way, a more polished way of how I can say it, instead of asking it how to speak to someone, That's how you should use it.
To me, that's making you better, because if you're actually speaking it. It's one thing when you're just cutting and pasting. You're not really learning.
That's exactly what it is. Like, I disagree with that statement. I think you can use it. I think it's just some agents abuse it in the wrong way, or some people, any entrepreneur in general.
But we don't want to forget, we're in the business to provide the best service, and obviously at the end of the day, walk away with a paycheck. If you're just a complete idiot and trying to let ChatGPT be the real estate agent, and you just somehow be this blob inside this skeletal body of delivering a key, maybe, I don't know, because ChatGPT can't actually deliver the key. So that but you can't, with the end goal, which is to make money.
Yeah.
But if you're not really great at English, but what do we all do? We all go to advisors and coach. Hey, I got this really hostile client. We're in this negotiation. What should we do? You could ask ChatGPT the same question. It could be one of the three people you may ask for advice on a difficult situation.
Sometimes it knows more than your own broker.
Yeah, or all of a sudden it brings up something that you didn't even think of.
Yeah. No,
that's what I find is brilliant.
That's what I've done. I've done it before. I've done it for a deal that I submitted an offer on. Basically gave it the scenario, explained like what their goals are, and I was like, what can I do in this situation? Can I have like 2 or 3 options of how I can negotiate this deal, and what would be best for them? And it works. Like, it's pretty cool. It's so smart. It's just incredible tools out there. I mean, I love it. I'm not afraid of it. I think people need to embrace it before it's too late. Yeah. I know I've met amazing top producers. Of course, they've built the business without it. Of course, there's people out there like that. But again, you're going to have people that are not afraid of it, that are going to get way more ahead of you long term.
We discussed pre-show, your generation in here now is going to it. And the things I was presenting was the younger people that got it.
Yep.
If you're my age and older in the business, maybe, and you've been in it 20 years, you could still get away. You're still going to get referrals,
of course,
and they're going to refer their kids. But that generation and you personally are going to move on.
Yeah.
If you're obviously your age, you got to completely embrace it. Those to me, the 30 to 50-year-olds that are still going to be in this business for another 20 plus years, you've got to start implementing, and start using it. You're not far behind. This is just literally groundbreaking.
This is surface level information.
Yeah, you're gonna find that app that you really like to use. It's gonna move your business. Like you said, some of the leads you've created, 10x on that thing, and you can go after it.
I think we all know, if anybody here has created a business plan, we all know how many conversations we're supposed to have. We all know how many people we're supposed to touch on a daily basis, right? So figuring out how to utilize AI to reach that too, and figuring out okay, what should I do to generate these leads? I don't know. I sat there and that's how I figured it out. I went from having I don't even know, just several leads a month, in the beginning of this year. 250 people signed up in the last 2.5 months. You get that's incredible. That's just something that I did, and it was just it's.
And the 5 buyer consultations were delivered. They responded
to the deals of the week, oh, tell me more. I actually put a real deal instead of just putting, you could put your listing on there, you could do whatever. Make sure that you explain the key features of that deal, and people will respond. They don't even have to see a single photo. They'll just, think about it like this: you're putting information to captivate the person to respond to you.
I gotta write down this other idea.
I know. See, it keeps the wheels turning, and that's how I took again what Sharon taught everybody with his deals of the week system, and it's keeping it simple. It's not putting those graphics, because I don't know if most agents know this. If you send out mass emails, if you make it too complex, too many graphics, too many photos, it actually is more likely to bounce back. But keeping it just simple, black and white text out there, and that's it. That's all I do. It is so simple. It's just bullet point by bullet point, and it touches key points to get someone to respond to me. Again, I had someone that attended it. On Monday, they sent the email at 12 p.m. They had one lead respond at 11 minutes later. It works. It's simple. I think people are overcomplicating how to use AI as well. So,
and I think a lot of these things are on our radar, but are we executing?
Yep.
And when you start simplifying it and say, oh, I can just go into AI and do that, boom, that chore is done.
Yep.
Which normally it took me an hour and a half, 2 hours to do. I'm now done in 10, 15 minutes.
Yep.
You can really time block, right? You're not going to
actually do the work.
You're not on this open-ended. Yeah, you're not on this open-ended thing. Hey, you know what? I can get 10 things done before 10 o'clock in the morning, and then go do what I really want to do.
That's exactly what I did. So I decided to go to the Sunrise yesterday, and I sat there and I had all my tasks done by 11 p.m. because of AI. And then I was able just to touch base, and I got to take a break. Imagine using it to actually have that work-life balance that we talked about. Instead of spending hours on end trying to do all this stuff. Build it out, take the time, see what systems and which processes you want to implement using AI, and then execute. That is key. I think agents hear about it, but they don't actually implement and execute. That's so important.
Give me this was Britt's recommendation, which is good. We talked about, I think, Gamma AI is 3 go-to apps, Gamma being one. Notebook LM, right? It's Notebook LM. What would be a third app that outside of ChatGPT? Are you using anything else behind the scenes?
I am. So there's one that was simple. People actually used it for the training that I did called Noda AI. So that's a tool basically where you can attend a training, you click on it, it listens through the microphone on your laptop. It really detects it well, actually. It transcribes, and it transcribes it in real time. And that's all you have to do.
Summary of the key points. These things that you've seen this one advertised on recording, company meetings or whatever, business meetings, and being able to spit that, or if you're doing a Zoom call, I think they're using something like that.
Yes,
where it'll spit out the summary to send to everybody, hey, just a summary. Because people do, there's a lot of information being exchanged, you get distracted, whatever, it's summarizing and bringing everything to a conclusion of what you just spent your time doing.
That's exactly
and is there anything to pull out?
And they all can go work together. You can use it to do things. For example, if I use Noda AI to transcribe or to listen in on a training, I take the transcript, I implement it into that tool, Notebook LM, create a podcast. I'm reiterating that information that I just heard in a podcast form so I don't forget it, and I can actually use it to implement my system. Like, I use what I learned from the training and I actually want to implement and execute. That is super important, and I think not a lot of people do that. So
I've got the idea.
We're all guilty
that.
of it. We are all guilty.
One of the most important things, which I think from what I sense listening to other people in the AI world, because they're doing a lot of training, like Carrie Sauvé, who I mentioned earlier, prompts. Let's finish a little bit. Tell us about the science of prompts and how important it is when you're trying to get a result from ChatGPT or any of the other platforms.
So again, when you tell chat your whole life and then you prompt it to do a tool, it's a command. And so I give it the prompts. For example, I'm like, hey, like the one, like, write me this email, help me write this email, feed in the information, you give it the client's information and how to create that email, and it will do it for you. And so it's just, think of prompts as like a command. It's just your command, or like the to-do for your actual chat, like the task for your chat, and that's how you do it, and you just send it out and it will give you the result immediately. And that's just how I see it. It's like as if you told, hey, you text your assistant, hey, can you do this for me? It's the same thing, it's just using AI.
Give us an example, like how descriptive they should get. Like I mentioned earlier, hey, I write this letter or email as if you were a Harvard attorney. How detailed? How do you give it a lot of, hey, what kind of tone to use? I mean, describe how you would, to someone who doesn't even know what a prompt is.
Yeah.
But they are very important to get out the results that you are looking for, because you kind of want to, hey, the tone of this needs to be between a buyer and seller that are 30 and 40 years old, how they talk to you. Or I think that even some people view, we've got two people, one's from New York and one's from Alabama. How do you can actually tell it things like that, and it will give you advice or write it in a more a tone that both of them can resonate with.
Yeah, so with the chat, this is actually really funny. I think anybody that's listening, if you're not paying for a chat right now and you're using the free version, you need to pay for it. It's like $25 a month. Is it up to
25? I'm paying 20, I know
20
that.
Or 25, I don't even know. Whatever it is. It's cheaper than your VA, so let's start there. So you should do it. I don't want to
It's 3 hours of a VA.
Yeah, no, it does so much. Like, you're going to use it every single day. That's the best ROI on it. And so basically what I do, I've actually gone in and the only reason that I knew that you had to pay for chat is because I used chat so much on the free version that it made me pay for it. That's what happened. So I was like, okay. And then it was the best decision ever. So I went in there, and in the settings in your chat, you can actually command it and teach it, like, your brand and your voice and all this stuff. Like, you can literally feed into it, so it's already preset and premeditated for you. And so all you have to do is,
are you just going into a chat and do that?
your actual settings, like, there's the settings tool that everybody has. Go in there.
Okay.
There's a part in there that's like, you can give it a description and what you're trying to do, and you basically give it your identity, I guess, in some way. And essentially what I do from there is it knows me. Like, my chat sounds like me now. I have fed it real-time conversations that I've had, so it understands my voice and my tone and how I actually speak, instead of trying to create a whole different identity, I guess. And so now when I give it prompts, for example, I'll be like, okay, let's see, like, help me create, like, let's say I have a discovery call online, right? And I'm doing a call with somebody, and I want to have something to just touch base. And so what I do is I'll be like, give me a buyer discovery call script for this client, and make sure it sounds like me. And so that way, if I don't, we all do these, we have moments sometimes, and sometimes we're a little bit tired. And so whenever I'm talking to a buyer, I know that I need to touch on these points. And if I forget what to say, I have it in front of me as guidance.
Right.
Now, again, it's not replacing
Or they
you.
ask a question to just distract you.
If you have a question, guess what? While you're having that consultation, type it in and be like, give me a solution, something that sounds like me. You can give it to them. Or, hey, I'm having, like, this problem, like, what should I do, and blah blah blah, whatever it is. It's still you. It's just you've trained it's like, think about it. In a corporate world, you're a team lead, right? And you're training all these people to work under you. You're still training them. Think about it like that. You're training real people. You're just training your artificial intelligence. And that's what it is. And I think a lot of people need to understand how to use it, instead of just If you just take the basic version of chat and you're like, write me this caption for blah, 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 it's going to sound boring, it's going to sound repetitive, and it's going to sound like AI. But instead, teach it how to become like you, and that's the best way. And that's literally how I use it.
I've got to dig into that part. I mean, I've got so many, obviously all the transcripts from the show, so I'm in there. It's hearing me all the time. I have uploaded into just chats where hey, I needed to create a caption. Here's the transcript, and so it knows what we talked about on the show. But actually putting those into like you said, into that area that you're talking about, and your settings that would really catapult mine, because I have so much content to give it.
Imagine for you, for example, you create your custom one. It knows your voice at this point, right? And you just give it the prompt, hey, these are the key points that I want to make sure. You just give them the information for your guest speaker, and it does it for you. Like in an instant, one click. And that's all you have to do. That would be incredible. It's a time saver.
Yes.
Instead of figuring it out. And it will, once you repeat the cycle of using it, it'll know you even more, like we said earlier. And that's it. And it makes it easier.
More content you're using,
yeah.
more it gets to know you just like a human, but on steroids.
Basically.
Wow. This has been, so you did the training at Landmark. I can only guess that many of the people didn't hear it. Hopefully some people that are watching or get see the reels that we cut from this.
Yeah.
Put in there. Could Compass hire to come into an office training and do a 30-minute training with their people. Are you open to that? Obviously, I think you ought to be compensated. I would ask for some dollars to do that.
I care about collaboration, and I think the motto that I follow is kind of what my brokerage follows, which is working hard and being kind. Like that's the motto that we follow, and I really firmly believe in that. And I want to help people, because at the end of the day, there's enough business for all of us. I think a lot of agents.
I think you're going to get better at it by teaching it. That's one.
That's also one thing, but it's also like gatekeeping. Don't be the gatekeeper in this industry. We all should help each other. It makes such a difference. Imagine if we could just like work together, and not everyone again is going to use what you teach.
Right.
Not every person is going to take away. And at the end of the day, you probably will do it better. If you know it well enough, you probably do it better than another person, but instead just helping people. And I'm open to it. I have some ideas because I got great feedback. That was something that was super important to me, that if anybody came to this training at Landmark, that they had one takeaway. I asked everyone, and every single person in that room said yes.
Yeah.
And nobody even left the training. And
for those listeners who go, oh my God, Bella, don't give away all your secrets. The reality is, unfortunately, we'd like all 70 of those people to actually, implement it and start. We know, because statistically that really, only a certain percentage are actually going to implement or do something with the information you gave. Everyone appreciates it, but that's just reality. No matter what you're teaching, someone, we're all told to go on the diet, but we don't, and
that's so funny. No.
A few will do it. Few will get motivated by what you said, and hopefully more so than others. But your information is valuable. It may take that person who doesn't do it, may take them 3 or 4 more sessions of saying, or another few months of not doing so really well. So maybe I should do what Bella said to do. Maybe help myself create some leads or save myself time, whatever their challenge is.
It really made me happy when someone messaged me and told me that it worked. That's such a good feeling, because someone actually implemented it. But I've had such great feedback, and everyone was like, this is incredible information. And I think what it was like that light bulb moment happened. All those realtors in there that was sitting, or not even realtors, just entrepreneurs that were in that room, they were like, oh wow, like this is how I can use it, and it got their wheels churning. And I think that's all I wanted. I wanted something to come out of that, and I am thinking of like ways of how I can build this out for people too, because I would love to help people.
Well, a compliment to you on just the stories. The story you told me about the one person who got back to you and said, I went, is you taught it well enough.
Yes.
That they were able, and simple enough that they were able to implement it themselves. That one thing that this person might, and they might have picked up other things, but that one particular thing that they thought was most really went right away and were able to implement it and actually get results from it.
Yep.
That means you explained it really well and simple enough that they could do A, B, C and get it done.
I tried my best to make it as simple as possible, because I wanted agents to try it out and see what happens. And the fact that it worked made me really happy, because whenever I have attended trainings and stuff, I think it's really important to teach something that people can actually implement. You don't want to speak like a different language to them. You want to make sure it's so easy that any agent can implement it, and every single person can do this. Any entrepreneur could do this type of email, and it's so easy. And yeah, I mean, it was a really good feeling, and we'll see what comes from this.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Appreciate you coming on today.
Of course. Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it. Thanks,
Great show.
Tracy.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
This may be it for today's episode of Real Estate Excellence, but we both know your pursuit of excellence doesn't stop here. To connect with the best of the best and really take your skills to the next level, join our community by visiting TracyHayesPodcast.com, where you'll meet more like-minded individuals looking to expand their inner circle and their personal experience. That's available at TracyHayesPodcast.com.